Next up, we're going to hear from MNEXT, Avans, University of Applied Sciences, and their researcher in biobased transitions, Maddalena Logrieco. Maddalena.
Thank you, Leo. Thank you for the opportunity to speak here today. I'm Maddalena. I'm a researcher at MNEXT, the Center of Expertise of Materials and Energy Transition. And today, we're going to see together the project called Bio-10 Molecules, which is about pioneers challenging fossil materials in the race for biobased. So let's start off with the project approach, with the research approach, which is divided in 3 parts. I hope you can see clearly from the bottom there. So the first part is a top-down qualitative analysis of 10 bio-based molecules. So from this, we start also to deep dive into case studies, and we've done this. And currently also doing so, we started from cross-case comparisons, but we're also expanding into other sort of studies. And we're going to see today the ones that we're currently working on. And the parameters, the insights from these first parts are going to be inputs for the last part, which is a regression analysis. We're aiming to build a data-driven tool to enhance awareness and also to facilitate the decision makers with the support of machine learning. So let's see from part 1 what it's about. We started from the easy way, the sugar-based molecules. We started from a report without the surviving bias, which was reductive for DG energy. And from this report, they selected 10 bio-based molecules from sugars, and meaning 63 projects, which are represented here in a tree diagram. What we've done of this list was to assign a project status, and then we've done a molecular-based analysis, and then we'll see further the case studies deep dive. So the same tree diagram here, but with the color coding, with the project status. So in yellow, the suspended or idle projects, in green, the still active, and in blue, the never started ones. And the drop-in are identified with the green drops on the molecule. The success rate was the percentage of the number of active projects over the total number of projects for the molecule, and are reported here in ascending order. From the left, which is the adipic acid, the lowest success rate, to the highest, the biopolyethylene, the 100%. But I'd like now to present something new, something that we're currently studying, which is the Avantium case. As mentioned, we already done 4 case studies, but now we are developing something that is closer to us in terms of geography and interest. And Avantium, in this case, represents the FDCA molecule. FDCA, if we consider the global production, let's hope that the numbers, the announced capacity gathered together by the Nova Institutes will really happen. And so finally, the sleeping giant will be awakened. So if we consider this part, if we consider that it seems to be only a matter of time, but also time was the variable that was considered by Corbion to stop the development, the internal development, the R&D part of the so-called FDCA business, because of slower than expected technology development. So only focusing on the time as a variable, we focus and we reported Avantium in their evaluation and development of the FDCA business. They started in 2000 as an R&D partner, focused on catalyst support, and then on that Friday afternoon, the Eureka moment, they managed to get from sugar this precious molecule FDCA. What they did was they successfully went to the pilot phase, and they also partner, because as we mentioned and keep on mentioning probably during this day, is about partnership and collaboration. So they partner with this industry giant, BASF. And what they did, in the meantime, they also went public. But this same industry giant backed out from the partnership and left the responsibility of bringing FDCA to the market to Avantium only. That's what they did last year. They finally completed the construction of the plant, the flagship plant. And so we could say that it took around 20 years, more or less. What if we consider another story that comes from China instead? And it is a company that I've interviewed and I saw in real. It's called GS Biomats. They actually are considered a startup. They only very young, it's 2021, the funding year. But they already arrived at the pilot stage, successfully at the pilot phase. And in parallel, they also thought of the commercial phase that they aim to achieve in 2026, with double the capacity of Avantium's plan. The same company has a very focused core business. They're bio-based monomer producers. They're currently targeting FDCA because of market interest, but they open to any other derivatives of HMF. And what they already done is 120 patent application, and they have no intention in their strategy, they have no intention of doing IPO before they go in full capacity. So the questions that may rise to you, and of course we're trying to target, is how is this possible? And what are the internal, external factors that affected this effective and efficient way of bringing the technology to full capacity? And this is the thing that it can be done in around, if everything goes well, in around 1/4 of the time. So to these questions and many others, we try to answer to in our projects. And the insights that we gathered so far, and that there can be called also elements of investigation for our researcher point of view, are reported here. And just to mention few, we have to consider the first mover effect and the responsibility that the first mover has. And then also a clear revenue model that can survive in this sort of market. Of course, outsourcing strategies, we've seen many CMOs today presenting, branding and building trust, IPO as a last resource for financing, and then always collaborate, as we said, and keep on repeating, but never forget about dependencies. So try to be clear with the not being dependent with the partner. And then being always the continuous development on cost reduction, and I would say also application development. And this is the final message to you, is to be patient. Because as we know, and that's why we're here, is not an if, but it's a when. But it's also important to answer probably the most important question is who sets the time and how we can make it more efficient. Thank you again. Thank you, Paul. Thank you, Leo, for this opportunity. This is the Biobased transition team. What we're looking for is our partners. They're interested in co-developing this the data-driven tool, but also any case studies analysis. Startups or scales up, they're willing to share their data and collaborate with us. But in general, any sort of collaboration, we're open to that. Thank you again.